Welcome to today's COVID-19 update. We're speaking with the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony.
We have published these orders, and they have been, we have repeated the same thing in successive orders. So, in terms of persons who require PCR tests, we have made that clear that uh, children 2 years and under, you don't require the test, but anybody above two, you require to produce a negative PCR test before you can travel into the country. If you are going out, different jurisdiction require different types of tests. So generally, most countries would accept the PCR. In the case of the United States, they accept both PCR or an antigen test, but all other countries generally would ask for PCR testing. So you get your PCR tests. You also produce your vaccination records. In the case of Guyana, once you at least have your first dose of the vaccine, we accept you. So as of now, that's the thing. So if you get at least one dose, we are accepting you. In terms of the vaccines that we are accepting, because I've heard that this, in some cases, has been a problem. What we have gazetted, we are accepting at least about 8 or 9 different vaccines, and if there's any doubt, the airlines can ask for guidance. Well, the government's policy is that if you are in a public space, you need to produce your vaccination card. So if you're going to be going to an airstrip, that's a public space, you need to produce your vaccination card. To date, we have had about 69 cases that have been imported into Guyana. Our policy has been that if you're traveling overseas, then you need to go and get your own PCR or antigen test done. The ministry's resources, the government resources, we are focused on making sure that people who need to be diagnosed with COVID, that we use it for that purpose. So we're not using it for travel purposes. So as of yesterday, we've had 375,640 persons who've received a first dose COVID-19 vaccine. This is people 18 years and above. So that takes up the percentage to 73.2% of that population receiving at least a first dose vaccine. In terms of second dose, we've had 235,081 persons who would have received a second dose vaccine. That's 45.8% of our adult population. In terms of the children, 26,683 persons would have received a first dose Pfizer vaccine, and second dose would be about 16,991. So in terms of first dose, 36.6% of that cohort would have received a first dose vaccine, and 23.3% of the same cohort would have received a second dose vaccine.
Well, that's it for today's COVID-19 update. Of course, we just spoke with the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Remember, for more information, you can log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and the Ministry of Health's website as well, health.gov.gy, and of course our social media platforms.